everyone. This is Lori Parfit for Highly Capitalized, and we are here at MJ Unpacked in St. Louis, Missouri. And I am here with one of the people I admire most in the industry, so I am excited to be doing this interview. Guy Rocourt, welcome, Guy.
Hi, thanks. Thank you for chatting with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for chatting with me. I am so excited to be having this conversation. So, Guy, can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I've been in cannabis 25 years. I've done a lot, seen a lot, made a lot of products. I think I've taken what I hope is the customer journey. I started, in a prohibition mindset, thinking about potency, thinking childishly as a one-hit wonder, wanting to flavor my cannabis so it didn't smell like cannabis. And now I've evolved to realizing, like most people, things are better when they're natural. So now I love plant medicine, sun-grown medicine. But long time in cannabis, a lot of advocacy work, and I'm happy to be. I can tell you, if you told me 5 years ago you're going to be in Missouri with adult use, I'd be like, really? And here we are. So progress is being made. That's a good thing.
I know, it's incredible, isn't it? And you're one of the true OGs, so to hear that from you, it's absolutely amazing. So can you tell me a little bit about the Clean Label initiative?
Yeah, so Clean Label is this concept of plant medicine, right? The beauty of our plant is that the trichomes are right there. All we have to do is scrape them off and harvest them. And with the new money coming in, I think that we're being relegated back to regular CPG, all these words that we use trying to make ourselves feel like we're an industry, but we're forgetting what the essence is. Plant medicine is what got us through prohibition, right? Grown in grandma's garden, made in grandma's kitchen. Yet, when consumers go into the store, all they're getting is distillate. That's the equivalent of Marinol and Sativex. Over 80% of products, maybe more, in your dispensary are Marinol and Sativex, which we already had. They're an isolated pharmaceutical THC, 99.9% THC sprinkled in a formulation or melted into a cart, and that's what we're serving consumers because all they want is potency. I don't believe that. I think it's disrespectful. I think it's kind of, prohibition mindset. All of us in our food and all in our clothing, we're all looking for things to be more natural, more sustainable. That's in the zeitgeist. Americans are waking up and realizing that their foods are not as clean as Europe, but yet we're allowing cannabis now in dispensaries when we finally have the gift of abundance. Instead of honoring the plant, we want to boil it down like biomass so that it fits this old paradigm of how CPG works. Clean label suggests that your product should be a clean label, meaning not only is the cannabis clean, meaning the farmer grew it correctly, so all I had to do was shake it or wash it, but if I'm going to take that care with the cannabis, then shouldn't all my other ingredients be super clean? We have an opportunity in cannabis to lead the way and show that we are the good actors and the rest of the supply chain is dirty. Any formulators out there will know that trying to get other excipients to be in your product and still pass testing, especially if you test in final form like we do in California, is difficult because the rest of the supply chain is not held to the standard of cannabis. So we can flip the script and lead the way, right? Lead that way with Clean Label, where every time I look at the label, it's all natural cannabis, all natural ingredients, no preservatives, no stabilizers. And I say that with good confidence or strong confidence because I have a proven track record of creating said products. So here we are at MJ Unpacked. 80% of these products are distillate, but all of these products can be created with literally water, pressure, and clean ingredients. That's all we're asking for in terms of Clean Label movement. So definitely join the movement. Remember that plant medicine is what got us through prohibition. And yes, I value innovation. I love all the technology that's coming out, whether it's carts or devices. But at the end of the day, we have to remember our roots, literally, and make sure that when a patient walks in or a regular Joe walks in to a dispensary, that they're presented with an option of this is what real cannabis medicine is. And sure, there's this distillate pen here, but real cannabis medicine, plant medicine from farm to table. That's basically the Clean Label movement.
So I love that. And actually, we've started to see that evolve within CPG as well. So one of the major cohorts out there is fresh and real. And how do we make our food products more fresh and real? Take out those preservatives, take out those additives. And so if CPG is doing it, it really makes sense that cannabis does it as well, because cannabis is literally, like you said, a plant. It grows from the ground.
Yeah.
Putting all of these additives into it doesn't actually add a lot of value. It can create things and issues that we don't even anticipate. So I think it's wonderful that we're embarking on this path. So you're coming out with a new brand. Can you give us a little bit of a preview on that?
Absolutely. So the GR brand is my promise, right? A brand is a promise, and GR is a promise to the consumer that I just won't cut corners, right? It's like my name's on it. And so at Pop and Barkley, we used to have this great expression, best in class. And what we define that as, if you know better, you do better. I'm capable of making a mistake. If I serve up some rosin and you're like, it could be better, and you explain to me why, I'm gonna say thank you for that lesson and we're gonna make it better. That's the level of TLC that I want to add to my products, right? Like true craftsmanship. And I think that's missing from our industry. There's others that are just as deserving, no disrespect to all the other great cultivators and craftspeople out there, but I think it's time for us to throw our hat in the ring and start to put our name on products and lead the industry and taste make for the industry, right? Because a lot of times, again, getting back to that data, people will look at data and say, well, 80% of the consumers, they just want to buy price and potency. I'm like, that's because nobody's showing them the way, right? We want to parse data and drop anchor and be like, that's where the market's going. That's what they want, but they don't have a vision of what cannabis can be post-prohibition, that abundance and how we can use and consume and also still have those clean, rooted, green-hearted values that we all advocated for.
So potency has always been one of those things. What's the highest THC? And the way I talk about it is it's really a value play. It's like going to a restaurant and saying that the bathtub of cheap pasta has more value than the farm-to-table small plate that's made with real whole ingredients.
Yeah.
And so I see that in cannabis the same way. They think higher THC means more value to them, but it doesn't necessarily work that way. So it's really all about the education.
Yeah. And I think that the lack of education, that ignorance is also, I think, coupled with cannabis shame. We forget that we have 100-year plus of systemic bias in our industry, and we're being held in prohibition mindset. The gift of legalization should be abundance. We should be freely smoking fatties, not infused penners, right? Potency, you don't walk into a bar, like to your point, you don't walk into a bar and say, give me the strongest. We have left out the experience. So damn the experience, I just want to get the strongest moonshine, and I don't care if it burns my throat, I don't care if it's unhealthy, I just need that alcohol. No, that's not how it goes. That's a prohibition drug culture mindset. We have to lead the consumer into respecting our plant and industry by showing them that there is a good, better, best. There is something to nerd out in beyond even terpenes, right? Every other product, how it's made counts. Your clothing, right? If it's, some famous designer that hand coutoured it, it's got value. When you go to a restaurant, if it's a chef that has created it all the way down to the short order cook, somebody made that for you, that has value, right? And all different levels of it, but yet we reduce our industry to potency and drug culture,
and price.
And price, yeah, exactly. So one of the things I've been saying about the GR brand is I'm not looking to be I know I'm going for that small segment that might understand right now, but if you think of a Don Julio or Louis Vuitton, we need to plant those seeds in our industry. I tell investors, if you want to get 1,000% margin, we have to build legacy and culture so people will pay for our brand. I'm ready to pay for a $300 eighth, but if it's coming from that person who grew it in that special way, I'll pay 4, 5, 1,000 times over market price. We see that in other CPG sectors, but we haven't earned that respect yet, or we haven't given or taken that respect ourselves as an industry.
I would tell you that we haven't created those customer segmentations and those product segmentations yet, and it's all about evolving the market to that level. And so what you're really trying to do is create that super premium category. And the truth is, price is only an issue with the absence of value. So you have to teach consumers about the value that you're bringing with your product. And one of the things that I love that you said was THC with TLC. So I really think that's what your brand is. It's get your THC with a little TLC.
Awesome. Thank you. That's awesome.
If anybody wants to learn about your brand or the Clean Label Initiative, how do they contact you?
So definitely on LinkedIn, join the Clean Label movement. We are looking for sponsors. This is not just about me, team efforts. They're looking for like-minded team members. And then you can find me at GuyRocourt.com.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us, Guy. Loved having you on. And I am Lori Parker with Highly Capitalized. Thanks for joining us today.